Welcome to Sound Off on 96.7 The Eagle, LaPorte County's original social media. Sound Off is a public interest forum that encourages your voice to be heard on the topics and issues impacting our local communities. We invite you to be part of the conversation by calling or texting 219-362-0522. You may also email your questions to soundoff at 967theeagle.com. This is a topic-based program, and we ask that you keep your comments brief, concise, and related to the topic being discussed. The views expressed on Sound Off are those of the hosts or callers and do not represent the opinion of 96.7 The Eagle, Spoon River Media, LLC, or the sponsors. The on-air line is now open for your calls or texts at 219-362-0522. And now, Sound Off on 96.7 The Eagle.
And welcome to Sound Off on this Monday afternoon. Stan Maddox here, our guest today. We have a guest in our studios today. It's LaPorte County Sheriff Ron Heeg. So if you have a question for the sheriff or a comment to make, give us a call, 362-0522, or just send us a text message. Sheriff Heeg, as always, welcome to Sound Off.
Well, good afternoon, and thank you for having me here on this. It's a little bit wet out there, rainy afternoon, but we need the rain. It's awfully dry out there, and so we'll take it. I'm sure the farmers are really happy as well, too, Stan.
Yeah, conditions, especially around Wanata and La Crosse, a little bit drier than elsewhere in LaPorte County, so I'm sure that rain is much appreciated. The school year has started. Lots of focus out there on school buses and drivers not passing stop school buses and things of that sort. Have you been out there focusing on catching drivers passing stop school buses, and any results?
Yeah, absolutely. And, it's hard to believe that the school year has started upon us already. We're in the middle of August here, and the kids are back in school. All the LaPorte County school districts are back in session, so to speak. And I just like to use this as a reminder that the kids are going to be out in the morning for the buses, so keep an eye out for them on your way to work, and also when you're on your way home from work. We're in the season right now where it's still light in the morning, though the daylight hours are getting shorter as we speak. So won't be long, and the kids are actually be out at the bus stops very early and in the dark. So keep an eye out for the kids. And I preach this over and over and over to remind everybody to make sure they stop for the stop arms for the buses when the stop arms are out. And I say that, and I sound like a broken record with it, but I say that because not a school year goes by or not a week goes by that I don't get a complaint into the sheriff's office how individuals are passing a school bus at a specific location, or we don't hear of a story on the news where children were seriously hurt or killed because somebody tried passing a school bus when the stop arm was out. There's no reason not to stop for it. Please have some patience. Leave a little bit earlier if you need to, but do not pass a school bus. And I've taken a zero tolerance approach at this at the sheriff's office, that there will be no warning tickets that are given. There'll be no give me a break, officer, I'm running late. You pass a school bus when the stop arm is out, and that's an instant ticket. That there is no warnings given to this. This is the seriousness of this. And second of all, if you do it in a reckless manner, which I think passing a school bus while the arm is out is reckless to begin with, but if you do it in a reckless manner, you're going to go to jail. We're going to impound your car, and we're going to take you to LaPorte County Jail, and you can answer to the charge of reckless driving for passing that school bus while the stop arm was out, Stan.
Have there been any problems since school started about a week or so ago?
I have not heard of any yet, which is a good thing. If we don't get any complaints of individuals passing school buses, that's a very good thing. And a lot of the buses now have those external cameras that can get the license plates of these vehicles and everything. And we're going to track that individual down and issue them a ticket. Again, we take a zero tolerance approach at this at the sheriff's office because this is a serious offense, Dan.
All right. So far, we haven't heard of any tragedies, and let's hope we don't hear of any tragedies involving a student for the rest of the school year.
Let's hope. Absolutely.
All right. Anything new happening at the sheriff's office since the last time you made an appearance here in Sound Off?
Well, I'm trying to think. I think I was in here just as the summer was getting started, maybe back in June or something. So it's been a busy summer for us. Summertime is always busier than other times of the year. That's because the weather's nice and people are getting out and about and everything. But yeah, we have had a very, very busy summer with 4th of July activities. And right after the 4th of July, we were at the LaPorte County Fair, got kicked off, and we have deputies at work out there the entire week. And then right after that, we started planning and we're preparing and for the Michigan City boat races that took place 2 weeks ago. So it's been a busy summer. Summer's not over with. I don't want people to start calling and texting us saying, wait a minute, I understand summer's not over with. We still got a lot of nice weather ahead of us. But no, things will kind of maybe start to settle down a little bit, and things will maybe get a little bit quieter now that the kids are back in school. So no, it was just a very busy summer. It made the summer go by fast, Dan.
All right. And of course, high school football will be starting pretty soon. That helps keep you guys busy as well, right?
Mm-hmm, absolutely. The high school sports will be starting up. The teams have their first game coming up this Friday. So that's going to be exciting and interesting. I know New Prairie comes over to LaPorte this year to play in their ever traditional, annual first game. So it's exciting. Yeah.
Are we going to see Sheriff Heeg out maybe throwing some practice passes on the sidelines or something before a game?
No, you're not going to see me throwing any football. My football playing days are well beyond past me, Stan.
Oh, okay. Well, I thought I'd check. You never know. All right. Over the weekend, there was a police officer in near Benton Harbor, Michigan. He was hit in his police vehicle by a suspected impaired driver. That was early Sunday. And then also early Sunday, you had a sheriff's deputy, I saw the report, where he had to take evasive action to avoid a suspected oncoming drunk driver who had veered over the center line. I mean, how bad is it out there? I mean, is it getting worse or about the same? I guess that's just something you guys encounter from time to time, right? Or is it happening more frequently?
I think it's just something that occurs all the time. We make a DUI arrest every month, every night, and everything else like that. But these are just two prime examples of just the seriousness of this offense of driving while intoxicated. Luckily, nobody was hurt or injured or killed in these incidences. It could have turned out a heck of a lot worse. But every month we post the photos of the individuals that were arrested the month prior. And some people say, "Oh, are you trying to public shame?" No, we're trying to bring awareness to the seriousness of this offense. I mean, your news story today, two of the stories were just that. The Benton Township police officer cruiser being struck by a drunk driver, and then our deputy had to take evasive action to prevent from hitting head on. So it just shows you the seriousness of these offenses. And I've always said, you talk to a relative or a family member whose loved one was hurt or killed by a drunk driver, and I bet they won't care one bit that we put a photo up of an individual who was arrested for drunk driving. They're probably going to cheer and applaud that because that's our job. Our job is to take these individuals off the streets, to make the streets safer for everybody. And we're not going to apologize for doing our job of what the taxpayers of LaPorte County expect us to do, and that's to keep their streets safe, and that's exactly what we're going to continue to do, Stan.
Pretty scary if you're a patrol officer and all of a sudden you have something coming at you and they appear to be impaired. I mean, that's like Russian roulette.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like I said, we're fortunate that nobody was hurt seriously or anything like that. It could have turned out so much worse.
Okay, I guess it's just one of the hazards of the job.
Hazards of being a police officer.
I mean, something could happen. Yeah. You guys pull to the side of the road in a traffic stop, and you could have one of your cars getting hit or an officer hit. Seems like we're hearing about things like that throughout the entire northern Indiana area where officers are pulling vehicles over and all of a sudden, oops, they're getting hit or maybe somebody got seriously hurt. Is it distracted driving? It seems like these things are happening a little bit more often. Maybe I'm wrong, but what are your thoughts?
Well, I think, I don't know if they're happening more often. Maybe there's just being more awareness brought to the situation and the issues. We've always talked about hands-free and not to be on your cell phone. And I think there maybe individuals are using their phone when they're driving. Or I see it when I'm out and about. People will be on their cell phone. So I think we're probably seeing some more distracted driving in that sense. But I think also trying to bring more awareness to it. And by bringing more awareness to it, it may seem like it's happening more often, Stan.
Okay. We got a text message. Somebody is talking about the new Amazon plant going up outside New Carlisle. They're asking you, do you know how bad the tickets are when you're turning left from the east into the new data center?
I don't know if or they want to know how much a ticket is if an individual receives a ticket. I can't speak on how much a St. Joe County ticket is, but I know in LaPorte County the tickets are $165 if you're issued a traffic ticket. But I can't speak on the behalf of over there in St. Joe County.
Yeah, when you're turning left from the east, is that even a violation? I don't think he's really describing it.
Yeah, I know they've got like barricades set up to prevent some U-turns and some everything else from the construction trucks and that's going in and out of there. And yeah, absolutely, the traffic out there is immense right now. And that's because they're bringing in a lot of workers to build this. I think they got like 4,000 workers there at any given day, so that's a lot of traffic coming and going. When that project gets done, we're going to see a lot of that traffic subside because there will not be that many workers that work there at that Amazon data center when it's completed. So, and there's a lot of semi trucks and everything else coming and going and out of that as well too. So it's I'm not saying it's treacherous, but it's definitely provides some challenges, and there's a lot of increase of traffic volume along that State Road 2 and that US 20 corridor, what I like to call east of I-94 east into St. Joe County. There's a lot of increased traffic there because of that, Stan.
Yeah, of course, that's outside your jurisdiction, but are you guys lending a hand in any sort of way?
Absolutely. I'm real good friends with Sheriff Redmond over there in St. Joe County, and we've done some traffic enforcement details together up on State Road 2 and along the US 20 corridor. And I know his officers, they do some traffic enforcement details up there as well, too, just to help slow traffic down. US 20 right now, as we speak here in LaPorte County, from US 35 east to 400 west is down to one lane each direction. And then from County Road 200 east to 500 east is down to one lane. And that's part of that big project they're going to be working up there on US 20, in which they're going to widen it and put a center turn lane in. A project that's long overdue. We've been anticipating this, and I'm thankful that it's getting done. Because when the state has come in and put some turn lanes in at some of the intersections, we were notoriously bad for accidents, such as at County Road 400 West and 300 West. They put turn lanes in there, and the accidents have pretty much completely subsided. You still have your occasional accidents and everything else, but the severity of the crashes have gone down, and the number of crashes have gone down as well too. So some of these improvements are underway. It's going to be well worth it in the long run, but there's going to be a lot of patience that's going to need to be exercised by all drivers as we proceed through this construction project. But it'd be a lot safer for all of us. And as a guy who lives up there, and I'm on US 20 3, 4, 5 times a day, I'm really looking forward to this project, Stan.
All right, let's take another phone call. You're on Sound Off with LaPorte County Sheriff Ron Heeg.
Hello, how you doing?
Hi there.
Say, I was going to mention, I was with my sister coming back from Granger. That 2 and 20, that dog bone there, nobody was yielding at those things. You got to yield. There's like 3 or 4 cars that went through one day this summer.
Yeah, okay, yeah. You're supposed to yield as you come up through those dog bones and those roundabouts, and, they got yield signs posted. So I would agree with you. They need to be yielding.
At first, I didn't like them, but if you got a big intersection or a busy highway like that, they work good. But I think one would be great by Porte Stop there by Johnson Road 35.
Yeah, I would agree. I'm a fan of roundabouts myself because they do make an intersection safer, and they allow for the flowing of traffic to be so much smoother as well. And you mentioned the one there at the Johnson Road, the Family Express there. I think the state highway has plans to put an intersection right at that, or put a roundabout right at that intersection. I think that's on tap for next year, I believe it is. So yeah, roundabouts are safer, and I'm a fan of them.
Yeah, some people, though, say, well, gee, the roundabouts, I like my roads that are straight. I like a straight road. Some people get a little confused, perhaps, in a roundabout, but you're saying they're great. Tell us why.
Well, the safety factor of a roundabout versus a intersection, an open intersection. If you're involved in a crash through a roundabout, it's not a 90-degree crash as you would see in a regular open intersection. One, to go through a roundabout, the speed has to be down. So we're going at much slower speeds, and we're not taking a head-on or a 90-degree crash. They're more of a glancing crash or an accident, which makes it safer. And the Dogbone intersection was a prime example of how safe they are. Prior to that intersection was one of the worst intersections, not only in LaPorte County, but in the state of Indiana when it came to crashes, injury crashes, and fatalities. That was one of the worst in the state of Indiana. Now that they put that Dogbone in, we have very little crashes there. And again, if we do, they're the more of a glancing side swipe of a crash versus the speeds and everything else, Stan. So I use that Dogbone intersection as an example all the time on how safe a roundabout is compared to a normal intersection. The proof's in the pudding.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what, we got to take a quick commercial break. Stay with us here on Sound Out.
It's a peach week at Garwood's. Half bushel of peaches in the market, or you pick for just $29. Or buy 3 containers of peaches of any size, the 4th is free. Don't need that many peaches? Then the Red Haven peaches are only $1.49 per pound this week, only at Garwood's. Garwood's Blushing Star White peaches are also now available. With their unique, delicious flavor, they're a must-try and only available for a short time. In Garwood, you pick this week peaches, along with pickles, tomatoes, gala apples, blackberries, peppers of all kinds, red raspberries, and eggplant. And they're all on special at Garwood's. Buy 3 of any one size container, and the 4th of equal or lesser value is free. Mix and match. And make sure to pick up a delicious homemade peach pie or take a frozen one home to bake it when you want it. Also in Garwood Farm Market, Garwood canning tomatoes, sweet corn, plums, Michigan apricots, and much more. Garwood's now open 7 days a week from 9 to 6. You pick closes at 5. Garwood's on 50 South past Pinola. GarwoodOrchard.com.
They say home is where the heart is, but let's be honest, it's also where the fastest Wi-Fi is. That's why we love Surf Internet's 2 gig fiber fast service. Streaming multiple devices or just working from home, it just works for us. No stress, no glitches, no drama. Just fast local service that made cutting the cord an easy switch for our family. Want to love your internet again? Contact Surf Internet today. From Zoom calls to movie nights, Surf's got you covered. Visit surfinternet.com to get started.
Hey, let's all join together at 5 a.m. for your Tuesday edition of the Mayhem right here on 96.7 The Eagle. Hey, gang, Dennis Siddell here. Join me, Stan Maddox, and Wayne Mahar, as I said, for your Tuesday edition of the Morning Mayhem beginning at 5 a.m. Wayne's got your forecast. Stan has your local news. I've got a pair of tickets for someone to go see David Nail this Saturday at the LaPorte Civic Auditorium. It's the Tuesday edition of the Mayhem. It all begins at 5 a.m. right here on The Eagle.
It's your home for Slicer Sports and 96.7 The Eagle. Don't miss a single down from Slicers football live on air with us. Whether we're on the road or home at Kiwanis Field, you can catch every touchdown and exciting moment with Slicers football live every week this season on 96.7 The Eagle. Sponsored by MC Doors, Raymond & Spence Insurance, Michiana Insurance Services, Edward Jones, Salisbury & Spence, Giggles Boutique, Flanagan Tire, Lakeside Auto Works, Child Support Division of LaPorte County Prosecutor's Office, Keller Limestone Services, Pavey Excavating at Stone Yard, and Birdine Auto Body. Go Slicers!
This look at the forecast at 96.7 Eagle brought to you by Harmon Expert Auto Service. Looking for reliable and professional auto repair services? Visit HarmonExpertAuto.com, stop by 308 Washington Street, or call 325-0444 to schedule your appointment today.
Michiana weather Highs level out around 85 this afternoon under mainly cloudy skies with a slight chance of thunderstorms. From the Weather Center at HometownNewsNow.com, I'm meteorologist Paul Trombley. Right now, 75.
Your opinion matters. We invite you to share it by calling the on-air line at 362-0522. That's 362-0522. Now, back to Sound Off on 96.7 The Eagle.
And welcome back to Sound Off on this Monday. Our guest today, LaPorte County Sheriff Ron Heeg. We have another telephone call to get to. You're on Sound Off. Go ahead.
Yes. Am I on now?
Yep.
Yeah, you got to turn your radio down, though. We're on a 10-second delay.
All right. I've got a complaint about up there at 850 and 39 North across from Savitsky's farm.
Mm-hmm.
There's a bush that's growing out, and you've got to pull off almost into the highway
Okay.
to let traffic come from the north heading south. And then by the time you get clear with those, they're heading back from the south. And I don't know where all the traffic's coming from. I mean, it seems like everything is full of traffic anymore. But you've got to sit there and wait. And there's a big bush at 850. It's on the west side of 39 that needs to be trimmed back because you've got to pull out in the highway.
Okay. No, I know exactly what you're talking about and exactly where you're talking about. And as soon as I get done here, I'll give State Highway a phone call and have them come and trim that bush for you. So, yeah, absolutely. Thanks for that.
All right. Thanks for the call. Open lines right now, 362-0522. Call us or send us a text message. Somebody says in a text, I think roundabout at Johnson Road at 500 West and Johnson Road and 250 North would be a good idea.
Yeah, that's up there by the Summit Farm, and that's always been a weird, odd intersection. So yeah, that I'm not opposed to it. We just got to get to the county highway and the commissioners and decide if they want to put a roundabout there. That's the decision to put a roundabout in is outside of my bailiwick, but I'm a supporter of them, and I would help champion that cause.
Yeah, like Johnson Road and 500 West. That's pretty heavily traveled sometimes.
It's very heavily traveled. Johnson Road is the busiest, most traveled county road in LaPorte County. So there's a lot of traffic. You know, it's the main county road between LaPorte and Michigan City. So there's a lot of traffic along there. So. Mm-hmm.
All right, yeah. Has anybody, I'm sure they have, done a daily traffic count or something? I wonder how many vehicles per day drive on Johnson Road.
Oh, I'm sure they have too, but I haven't seen any of those stats that would say how much traffic is along Johnson Road. I'm sure there's probably some Johnson Road might be busier than some of our lesser state highways, Stan.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, no kidding. Maybe, State Road 8 or, 39 South or something like that. Somebody wants to know if you're going to announce that you're going to run for re-election next year. Are you ready to announce that?
Well, I guess I haven't really thought about it that I mean, it's not till next year. And I tell you what, I have absolutely loved my time as being sheriff and loved my time in my 28 years at the sheriff's office. They say if you love your job, you never work a day in your life. And I truly feel that because these 28 years have gone by in what seems like a blink of an eye. But Tommy is correct. I am up for re-election next year. And absolutely, I'm going to run for re-election next year. Absolutely. We've made a lot of good positive changes. We've done a lot, which I'll highlight on them at a different time because this is sound off. But absolutely, I'm going to run for re-election. There should not be a doubt in anybody's mind if I'm going to run for re-election, Stan.
All right. So you heard it first.
Right, you heard it first right here on Sound Off with Stan Maddox and Meatball.
All right, great. That's great. How's the work coming along with those jail showers to try and fix the leak? Sounds like quite a mess. Maybe not sure where the leak is at. Have they found it?
Well, yeah, the showers, all of them in general, are leaking, and they're making good progress there. They've been there, and they're doing some work. I know they did a trial so to speak, of a procedure that they wanted to do. It worked. It seems to still be working. The test showers, so to speak, aren't leaking anymore. So they're going to begin making some other repairs to the showers. It's a sign of the time of the age of the building. It's starting to age, and it's starting to show its age. The one part was built back in the 70s. Now, they did do some remodeling when they did the addition back in the early 2000s. But, a jail, because it's occupied 365 days a year, 24/7, and it's used. And it's not only it's occupied by 350 plus people, right? People that they don't care how they treat that facility, right? It's not their home, so to speak. So it ages. They say a jail ages almost like in dog years. For every year that it's open, it ages 7 years.
Wow.
So and we're 20 plus years of this where we're at with the addition and the remodeling project. So you can do the math, and that jail is really starting to show its age. So you didn't hear it from me, and I'm not saying that we're going to be needing a new jail. But it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And there will come a time, and I don't have a magic crystal ball in front of me. I can't tell you when that is, but there will come a time that eventually that we will need a new jail here in LaPorte County. Again, I don't want people to start throwing pitchforks at me saying how I say we need a new jail. That's not the case, but it's one of those things. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And we need to have some frank and open and honest discussions about it as well, too. We can't bury our head in the sand and expect that the problem's going to go away, because that's going to make things worse. We need to start planning and preparing for that day. Stan.
That's interesting. 7 years of age for every 1 year. That'd be like having a 3 or 4 bedroom house, and all of a sudden you go from no kids to 10 kids.
Right, yeah.
And they have the pencils and the crayons and the coloring marks,
yep,
and everything else that goes along with damaging a home.
Right, yeah. I mean, it's exactly right, Stan.
I guess those cellar doors, when they shut pretty hard, right?
Yeah, it's all steel and concrete in the jail, and those doors are very heavy and, withstand the take a lot, but it still plays its toll.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what, we got to take another break. Stay with us here in Sound On.
Here we grow again. Your new neighbors are here, Michigan City. The Bob Lacurcio Auto Group now owns Michigan City Ford, Michigan City Kia, and Michigan City Hyundai. New ownership means better selection, better deals, and better service. Plus, all 3 locations now offer mobile service, so we'll come to you. Call us for an appointment today and get an oil change for as low as $29.95. We're proud to serve the Michigan City community we now call home. Visit us online at blautogroup.com.
You're going to like buying a car this way.
If you're not already banking at Grand Heritage Federal Credit Union, you may be wondering what the differences are between Grand Heritage and others, like banks. Stop by today and let them show you how to put more money in your pocket by banking with Grand Heritage, a credit union. Like free checking, Christmas clubs, auto loans, Visa credit cards, children's accounts with no fees and no minimum balances. You'll also enjoy the easy-to-use mobile app and online banking at Grand Heritage. When you're out of town, you'll be able to bank at one of over 5,000 shared branches across the United States. Oh, and when you call Grand Heritage, you'll get a real person on the line, not some automated attendant. And you can take comfort in knowing that all decisions are made locally. It's simply better banking with Grand Heritage, here locally since 1955 at 201 Kumler Drive, LaPorte. Your money is federally insured by NCUA at Grand Heritage Federal Credit Union.
Radio on 96.7 The Eagle, Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. is brought to you in part by Haverstock Funeral Homes and the Child Support Division of the LaPorte Prosecutor's Office. Call in on the Sowers GMC on-air line and tell us what you have to buy, sell, or trade, and host Kathy Reese and Dennis Adele will take care of you. A LaPorte County tradition like none other. Tradio, weekdays at 9, part of the Morning Mayhem on 96.7 The Eagle.
What are you waiting for? The lines are open on Sound Off. Text or dial your questions now to 362-0522. That's 362-0522. Now, back to LaPorte County's original social media. Sound Off on 96.7 The Eagle.
And welcome back to Sound Off on this Monday. Our guest today, once again, LaPorte County Sheriff Ron Heeg, 362-0522. We have another telephone call to get to. You're on Sound Off.
Yes, I know that he probably gets tired of hearing this, but fail in 20 is absolutely horrible. I live on Fail. I go to town almost every day, and every single day you have to stop and wait because people go through the red light. It's only a matter of time before we have an incident that happened with the New Prairie buses. I've lived out here all my life, and it's ridiculous. And I came back from South End on Saturday, 45-mile-an-hour speed zones. Everybody is doing 60 through the 45. And I don't see any state or county anywhere when I'm on the road.
Okay, yeah, I mean, you're preaching to the choir in regards to the intersection of Fail and 20. Again, I live right there myself, right in that area, so I'm going through that intersection constantly as well. And I just have taken the practice of, even though the light may turn green if I'm on Fail Road, I sit there for a second and I double check and make sure that the vehicles that are coming on 20 are slowing down or have come to a stop before I will even venture out, because I've seen some close ones up there. And you're right. As far as the traffic on US 20, absolutely, it's a problem. We've known it to be a problem for quite some time. Again, my 28 years, the traffic on US 20, it's always been an issue, right? We make traffic stops up on 20 more than any other road in LaPorte County. Our deputies make an average of 10,000 traffic stops a year, and I'm going to say probably a third of those are on US 20 alone, just US 20 alone. So our deputies are up there, and I've said it before, I'd love to have a deputy up there. I'd love to have 2 or 3 deputies up there on US 20 24/7, but it's just not feasible. We've got other calls for service we have to take and stuff like that. So you're preaching to the choir on the hazards of US 20 and Fail Road.
Okay, thanks for the call. Appreciate it. Somebody wants to know, they missed what you said about the roundabout in Rolling Prairie. Could you repeat that, please? The roundabout has made things much more safer, right?
Well, yeah, but I think maybe enrolling at Family Express, I don't think they're going to be putting a roundabout in at the Rolling Prairie Family Express along US 20. But we did talk about the dog bone, and if that's what our listener is inquiring about, is the dog bone one. I've said I absolutely like it. It's the safety aspect of it has made a world of difference up there along that intersection. And just to repeat myself, that intersection prior to the dog bone was one of the worst, not only in LaPorte County but in the state of Indiana. And that dog bone intersection has vastly improved the safety aspect of that intersection.
Okay,
just
great.
To touch back on that for that listener.
Boy, wasn't that long ago, earlier this month, strange man forced his way inside a woman's home in Cool Spring Township, and he attacked her, leaving her with some injuries to her upper body. I just haven't seen any reports of home invasions much recently. What's your take on this? I mean, he didn't know her, and she didn't know him, and he was from out of state.
Yeah, that was just a random incident. That was not a targeted incident or anything else. That was very random, and I don't want to comment on too much because it's still going through the court system, Stan, but I think there was just some mental health issues there as well, too.
Okay, yeah, that'd be scary, 2 o'clock in the morning or whatever time it was, and all of a sudden some guy is busting your door down and he's attacking you, and you don't know him.
Don't know him. Yeah.
That doesn't happen too often, does it?
No, not too often. It doesn't, no.
Okay, maybe elsewhere, but not here in good old LaPorte County, right?
Well, exactly.
All right, 362-0522, that's our number to call or text.
Well, now,
our
wait
guest
a minute,
today,
Stan.
LaPorte County Sheriff Ron Heeg.
You got to take the good with the bad here. I see you trying to click away from this comment.
Oh, no, I wasn't trying to click away from it. No, he says, keep up the excellent work. You and your entire staff are doing an excellent job. Very much appreciated.
Well, thank you. Yeah, see, Meatball caught you, too, about how you were going to try to skip right past
I wasn't going to comment on it.
You're quick. You're quick to pull out the bad questions, but The good ones, you were going to breeze right by it and click away from it. I caught you, Stan.
Yeah, well, we're trying to get to some controversy here. We got to stir up the phone lines. Hey, somebody has a question. Do your officers have a quota to meet every month?
Absolutely not. Quotas are illegal, and we do not require our officers to conduct a number of traffic stops. We like to see them increase some of their self-initiated activity and get out and do a little work, but there is no quota whatsoever at the LaPorte County Sheriff's Office.
All right. Of course, ongoing situation with the marijuana sales outside New Buffalo. Seems like they continue to come back in Indiana, and you guys keep catching a small percentage of those people. A lot of times it's just they're speeding or they commit a traffic violation, right?
Yeah, we've talked about this before on Sound Off and other places as well, too. We're not out there specifically targeting these individuals or setting up roadblocks or anything like that. They're being stopped for traffic offenses, just as you said, Stan. They're being stopped for speed, and then the officers are finding the drugs in the car or whatever. So, it's just it's going to be nature of the beast. It's still legal in the state of Indiana, although it is legal in Illinois, Michigan, Ohio, and Kentucky. Currently in Indiana, it is still illegal. I think it's going to be illegal for quite some time. That's more of a question for Senator Bahacek or Representative Pressel on that one. And myself personally, I would be opposed to legalizing it. I can maybe see medical marijuana, but that's a whole nother topic for a whole nother day. But with that being said, 60% of the business there in those dispensaries in New Buffalo, 60% of their business are Indiana residents. 20% are Illinois residents, and the remaining 20 are Michigan residents. So obviously, Indiana, there might be a need for them. I don't know. I myself would not be in favor of legalizing. That's just my personal belief.
Oh, where did you get the statistics?
From some of the Berrien County guys up there that we work with and everything else. That
60% Indiana
60%
residents.
of the business up there are Indiana residents.
Wow.
Yep.
And just 20% from Michigan.
From Michigan.
And then 20% from Illinois. So 80% of their business is coming from out of state.
Out of state. And that's because they're right there on the state line. I'm sure you go up to dispensaries further up in the state, and you'll probably see less Indiana people and more Michigan people. But since it's right there on the state line.
Okay. All right. Yeah, let's do it. Let's take another phone call. Okay, sounds good. You're on Sound Up.
Well, how you doing, Stan? Hello, Sheriff. This is your elderly neighbor calling.
Yeah, how are things up in Galena? We got some rain up there today. Holy cow.
Yeah, a lot of rain and thunder, so I've been keeping in for... The dog didn't even want out. So, yeah, I'm staying in for now. You were talking about that 20 and fail intersection. That's been a bad one since I've lived out here nearly 50 years. And I remember a lot of fatalities. But what I wanted to comment about that intersection, there is a sign that says no turn on red if you're going south.
Mm-hmm.
Might as well take that down, Sheriff. People don't even pay any attention to it. And it's so foolhardy because your visibility isn't the best. But I've seen people just ignore that sign, go ahead and make their right-hand turn onto 20. And I'm afraid sooner or later that's going to result in something very negative.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you were aware of that, but I just wanted to bring that to your attention.
Yep, absolutely. I'm very aware of it. Know exactly what you're talking about. Again, I live up there. I go through that intersection several times a day myself. And you're absolutely right. If you're southbound and fail, you're not supposed to turn on red to head west. Yeah, westbound on 20, because to see the traffic coming from the east, there's kind of some blind spots there. Now, with that being said, the state came in there 25 years ago and made some vast improvements to that intersection. They actually lowered US 20 to bring it down because it was set up at a much higher elevation than what it is now. So, it's an open intersection. So I don't know what quite what the problem is for all of that. But hopefully we can, people need to take some personal responsibility as well and make sure that they stop, make sure that they don't turn on red when the sign is there as well, too. Make sure they're doing the speed limits. We can't be there to enforce it all the time. So there's got to be some personal responsibility on that.
Okay. Well, unfortunately, we're out of time, Ron. Any
we just got started.
Final remarks? I know it seems that way. I know.
Like we just got started. No, again, everybody have a great week, and thanks for having me on the show today, Stan.
All right. Well, thanks for coming in, and look forward to your next visit. Our guest today, LaPorte County Sheriff Ron Heeg. Thanks for listening. We'll see you Friday. Until then, bye-bye.
Thank you for joining us and voicing your opinion on this edition of Sound Off. The views expressed on Sound Off are those of the host or callers and do not represent the opinion of 96.7 The Eagle, Spoon River Media, LLC, or the sponsors. Sound Off airs live every Monday and Friday, immediately following Update 12 News, and is available online after the show is over under the podcast menu at hometownnewsnow.com. Mark your calendar and join us again for the next edition of Sound Off, right here on 96.7 The Eagle.